Hey guys, it's Joe with the BoulderHomeSource team at RE/MAX Alliance. Today I want to talk to you about things you have to disclose to the buyer when selling your home. In Colorado, we're known as a disclosure state. In any known material facts about your property, you are required to disclose them to the buyer. Here are just 3 key points that I think are important to keep in mind when selling your home. The first key point that I want to talk about is HOA information. It's important that you gather all the information up front and make sure you know what's coming down the pipe in your HOA. Get the meeting minutes, what's included, what's not included, how much it costs, are they talking about a special assessment in the future, are they talking about a big maintenance item that's coming up. It's important that you get all this information gathered together so that you can disclose it to the future buyer of your house. The second point I want to talk about is repairs. If you know you might have a leaky faucet or maybe some structural damage to your home, it's important that you gather that information so that you can give it to the buyer and they can make an informed decision on how to move forward. I also want to bring up a point that we just talked about in my office. We had a representative from the Department of Regulatory Agencies come talk to us from the Colorado Real Estate Commission about different cases that she sees and how people get in trouble. One of the most common themes that we see is people fail to disclose material facts about their property. And then the buyer finds out after they move into the house, and they will come back and file a civil case against the real estate agent or the seller, or both. One of these stories involves a seller who found out new information while they were under contract and failed to disclose it to the buyer. For this example, the buyer asked the seller to do a sewer scope cleanout. The seller then hired a company, did the sewer scope cleanout, and the company recommended further repairs. Well, the seller didn't disclose those further repairs to the buyer. And later on, after the buyer bought the house and moved in for a few months, that buyer had a problem with their sewer line. So they called the company that did the sewer scope, and the company told them about the recommendation for further repairs. Well, because the seller withheld the information from the buyer was then successful in getting damages back from the seller for not disclosing that information. So the point of this is to tell you that if you have a buyer that does an inspection on your home and they ask for a certain amount of things to be done, or you have vendors come to your house and tell you, yeah, we'll fix that, but you should also do these things, you have to disclose those things as well. Or if the buyer did an inspection on your home, told you about all these things that you may not have known were wrong with it, and then terminates, you're still required to disclose those things to the next buyer. When I'm talking to a seller, I always say, when in doubt, disclose it out. It's important that you're more forthright up front so that you don't have headaches down the line or a buyer comes back at you after closing. You and your real estate agent are responsible to disclose things that you know about. So it's really important you have an experienced agent to know how to overcome these objections. Once again, guys, I'm Joe Gibbs with the BoulderHomeSource team at RE/MAX Alliance. And if you are thinking of selling your home, give us a call and we're happy to talk about what you can or what you should disclose when selling your house.